Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So before we get started on today's video, I just want to make a little announcement that a few of you did bring to my attention on my previous video that my Instagram handle has changed, and you're right, I completely forgot about this. So my new Instagram handle is here. It's Mrs.Kaylee_Lambert. And I'm really sorry for those of you that I tried to direct to my old handle. I changed it and completely forgot. So it's going to be corrected here and then also at the end of this video if you guys are interested. And if you want to see wedding photos or wedding highlights and things, I have all of that on my Instagram. So feel free to follow me and follow my pets because I have all of those linked in my bio as well. So last week on my Instagram, I put out a little ask me anything about my wedding day / wedding week. And you guys sent in a ton of great questions. And so today I thought I would answer a few of them. I'm going to be splitting this into two parts because I did get a lot of questions. And if you don't hear your question word for word in this video, it's probably because I combined it with another similar question just so I'm not repeating myself the whole time. And also there were two questions that I want to go over that I won't be covering in this video, and that's just because I'm making a future video that these fit a lot better in. So those two questions are the top 5 things I wish I'd known before my big day and advice for upcoming brides. Those are both super great questions, but they're very loaded questions that I want to answer very thoroughly. And for this Q&A, I want to do kind of a rapid fire response. So I'm going to be saving those two for a future video. So if you submitted those, thank you. I'm sorry, they won't be included in this one, but be on the lookout in the future. So I'm just going to go through the first 20 questions here today, and then we're gonna do a second Q&A, hopefully in the very near future with the remainder. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question is, how long have you and Brandon known each other? We actually met when we were 11, so we have known each other about 15 years. What was the main reason you wanted to get married? This is a really good question. I personally have felt for a very long time like he and I are like an old married couple. We've lived together for 3.5, 4 years now, and we're very comfortable with each other, and our relationship was really great. But there's something really special about the traditional idea of being married and making it official on paper. And so we both just felt like that was something that we wanted in our lives, and we decided to do it. How long did your wedding take to plan? My wedding took 17 months altogether. So we started in March 2019 and we ended in July of 2020. Did going back to normal life feel depressing now that the anticipation is over? I totally know what this means. I have had that post vacation or post concert or something big that you're planning is over and you get really sad about it for a couple of days. With this, I actually didn't get that, just because I think I was just excited to be married and start actual married life. And we also have a lot of big things planned for our future. The next thing is buying a house. So now that we're married, there are just so many more possibilities and things that we wanted to do. So I didn't actually get that feeling. And also we went on our little mini honeymoon right afterward. So that was a really nice buffer to kind of transition out of wedding planning and back into normal life. It's definitely weird, but I don't feel sad. I feel more relieved than anything that I don't have to think about planning my wedding 24/7 because it's a lot. What was the funniest moment of your day? The funniest moment was definitely as I was walking down the aisle. We got married in a big field under an apple tree. It was beautiful. But what we didn't account for were the bugs. And I had a very long train and a tulle type of skirt on my dress. And as I was walking with my uncle down the field, I wasn't to the aisle yet, we were walking across the field, I noticed that there were crickets in my dress. They were crawling up my dress. I had 5 or 6 crickets in my skirt, in between the tulle, and they were crawling up it, and I freaked out. My uncle and I were trying to shake my skirt as we were walking across the field, and I'm trying not to laugh, he's trying not to laugh, and I'm just like, Uncle Sean, what do we do? And he was like, just keep walking, it's fine. And it was actually super funny. And once I got to the aisle, I had a few still in the back of my train. I heard several people as I was walking down go, there's crickets in her dress. And when I got up to the altar, they spent about 2 minutes fluffing my skirt out and getting the crickets out of my dress and making sure I was all set. And Brandon and I were just like giggling because it was really funny. And if you had told me that this was gonna happen before, I probably would have been really stressed about it, but because it just kind of happened in the moment, it was fine. And we rolled with it and it was hilarious. And I definitely was a lot more loose and less nervous after that happened. Favorite memory / best or most emotional moment? This was 2 questions. I combined it into one because it's the same answer for both, and that was our vows. We wrote our own vows, and Brandon was very nervous about this. He's not a writer, but he worked with our officiant and she helped him out, and his vows were so beautiful. I bawled like a baby. It was the first time I cried the entire day, and they were just so heartfelt. And then I read my vows and everyone was crying, like everyone was just like crying. But it was such a great moment. It was so special, and just, it felt like it was just the 2 of us there in that moment, and I really, really loved that. One thing I would have changed. For this, I definitely would have not gotten rid of our DJ. He was someone that we had hired pre-COVID for when we had our venue, and because we shrunk our wedding down so significantly, we decided against having a DJ. We ended up having a Spotify playlist and having one of Brandon's cousins control the music for the ceremony. It was just added stress. I wish we had kept him and maybe like talked to him about the fact that it was a smaller crowd size, maybe gotten the service slightly like cheaper, because it was very expensive, which is why we cut it. We were just looking to save money with such a small wedding. But yeah, I think in the long run, it would have been a lot better if we had just kept him. So I regret that. What beauty treatments did I have before the wedding? Not many. I had my hair balayaged, which I have anyway, so I just had it touched up. And then I got a mani-pedi with gel polish, very, very simple, like a blush pink color with some sparkle in it, and that was it. I was going to get lash extensions because we were gonna originally do a big honeymoon afterward, and I was just gonna have the lash extensions through the honeymoon. I'm not the type to upkeep that type of thing, so I was like, I'll just have them through to the cruise and like it's fine. But because we didn't do that, I just didn't see the value in lash extensions. So I didn't do that. I just wore strip lashes on my wedding day. Everything was fine. So I didn't spend a ton on beauty treatments. What made me choose my amazing photographer? So my photographer, Kenzie Ray Photography, she's out of Florida. And she and I actually grew up across the street from each other in Maine, and we went to school together up until middle school, and then she moved. She has gorgeous photos. They're bright, they're airy. She comes up here in the summer and she does weddings and family sessions and couple sessions, and I see her photos all over my feed, and I knew that she had the look I was going for. What was funnier was she actually messaged me first on Facebook and was like, hey, do you want to see my photography packages for weddings? And I was like, you beat me to the punch. I was going to message you. And then the rest was history. We just get along so well. She's hilarious. She's so much fun to work with. And she did both our engagement and our wedding sessions. And I just absolutely love the photos. They are gorgeous. She does travel. So if you really like her work, you can definitely hire her no matter where you are in the US. And even outside the US, I know she has said she's wanted to travel to other places, obviously not during COVID, but if you're in Florida, she's local, so definitely check her work out. I will link her in her Instagram and her website and everything down below for you guys to check out. She's amazing, so I love you, Kenzie. Did I still have a bridal party and do traditional wedding things? Yes, we still had a bridal party. We kept that. We wanted to have some kind of normalcy, even though we cut our wedding down significantly. It also helped us to include our friends because they were in the bridal party, so they were still able to be a part of the day. And for traditional wedding things, we did a first dance, we did cake cutting, we did speeches during dinner, and that might have been it. What other traditional? We didn't do a bouquet and garter toss. And everything else was pretty laid back. So if there's anything I missed, that we probably didn't do it. So those were just the handful of things that we decided to do. This next question is very loaded. Did I have to cut my guest list due to COVID is the first part. Yes, we cut it from 85 to 40. Tips for creating a guest list / dealing with offended people who aren't invited. For that, think about how special they are to you. Are they a big part of your life? A big tip I heard from Jamie Wolf for coordination here on YouTube. Go watch her if you haven't ever. She's amazing with everything wedding. She, I believe in one of her videos said, you know, would you be willing to spend $60 on someone for dinner? If not, don't invite them to your wedding, because you are literally paying for them to eat and to be there. And so it should be the most special, close-knit group of people that are at your wedding. And of course, like plus ones is a whole other thing. For us, for plus ones, it was if you were in a very long-term committed relationship, you were married, engaged. We didn't give plus ones to people just for them to bring a date. It had to be people we knew, that we had been acquainted with. And of course, all of this went out the window with COVID, but that was how we originally made these decisions. Was it hard to narrow down the guest list due to COVID? Yes, we had to cut a lot of people that we would have loved to have been there for our day, but it was just like what we had to do. And it's not easy any way you slice it. There are gonna be people that are upset, and you just have to explain to them as best you possibly can that this is not a decision you would have made in normal life, and that this is not normal life. And, you know, for us financially, moving our wedding and everything was just not the right decision. And so we had to make sacrifices. We didn't have a ton of issues, but if you do, you know, I would just say, try to explain to people, make sure you put out your photos and your videos of the day and everything, and make them, you know, feel like they were there. Any way you slice it, it's really tough. Giving advice on that is really hard for me, because I personally had a very hard time with it. How did plans change for the positive due to COVID? We ended up with a smaller wedding, thus saving us a lot of money. We did lose some money, but for the most part, we saved a lot because some of our vendors were no longer needed, so we didn't have all of these crazy amounts of money we had to pay in at the end. And also the day felt very intimate. Obviously it was a very select group of people that were there, and so it made it feel really, really special. And we were able to talk to everyone, converse with everyone, thank everyone for coming, whereas in a big group setting, it's a lot harder, I think, to accomplish seeing everybody. And because we spent less time doing that, talking to everyone, because it was less people, it gave us more time to dance and have fun and enjoy our reception. So I definitely love the intimate wedding idea. I think it's the way to go. A lot of people are doing this now, and I speak very highly of it. Any last minute hiccups? Yes, my rental company, we had multiple issues. So our tent showed up missing 4 tension ropes, which are essential to set the tent up. We had a canopy tent, and Brandon set it up with his dad and our best man, Evan. And we had to call them immediately after they left and say, hey, we're missing ropes and we actually cannot put this tent up. So they brought us some strapping, which worked out really great actually. That was the first thing. The second thing was that my linens were supposed to arrive with everything else, and they were delayed till Friday evening, right before the wedding. The wedding was Saturday, obviously, so that was nerve-wracking. And then when they arrived on Friday, they were the wrong color. So in my photos, you'll see they're like a dusty blue, which my wedding was dusty blue. In reality, they were more of a sky blue / cotton candy blue. My photographer manipulated that slightly to make them look a little better. They were supposed to be slate, as in dark slate, as an offset color to all the dusty blue we had going on. And I don't know what happened. I did notify them that this happened. I received no response, so I wasn't overly thrilled with that. Luckily, they were the correct quantity, and our sweetheart table one came in fine. But I just could not believe that they sent us the wrong color and they were late. So that was a problem, but we got past it and my tables looked fine and it was okay. I had a brief moment of being very, very upset by this because they were not cheap. But just had to roll with it and it ended up working out completely fine. Was the wedding at my house? No, it was at my matron of honor and our best man's home that they just built 2 years ago. And they allowed us to take over their entire property for the whole week and throw our wedding there, and it was gorgeous. So I thank you both again for your crazy generosity and all the help and just all the support you guys gave us, because we literally would not have been able to get married without you guys and you guys' support and your property. It worked out so well. Highs and lows of the day. For the lows, we'll start with the lows. The low for me was the morning of the wedding. It was just stressful. I woke up at 5:30 and my big thing was I wanted to get my table settings out by myself, like do them myself, because I had a very specific vision of what I wanted them to look like. And so my matron of honor and I went out there at like 6 in the morning and we were just scrambling to get the tables set up. And it was stressful. I was very tired. I was running around like a crazy person, and that was definitely a low for the day. The highs were throughout the rest of the day. Everything went so well that I was just like really happy the rest of the day. So I would say one of the biggest highs was definitely our vows, as I talked about, and definitely dancing at my reception with my family. It was just really fun. Did we do wedding favors, and do I think they're just an added expense? We did do wedding favors. We did wildflower seed packets, and I don't think they, for us, were an added expense because they were pretty affordable. It was like $1 per packet, which isn't bad, and then the seeds were like $4 for a big bulk bag of wildflower seeds. But I've seen favors that cost a lot more, and I would say that if you're trying to save money somewhere, don't do your favors, because I don't really think people notice. My friend did not do them at her wedding and nobody said anything, and nobody was upset about that. People are just having like a great time, and half the time they forget to bring them home. For us, we put them right on the place settings, so people took them, which was great. And I didn't feel we wasted the money, but if you're trying to save money, don't even worry about favors, in my opinion. Hacks for pre-wedding anxiety. Be as organized as you possibly can be. I had a binder with a schedule and all the information for the vendors and the tip envelopes and maps and whatever I thought would be useful for the day of. We didn't really use it a lot, but I had it. Also, eat all day. Make sure you're just snacking on stuff all day, and drink a lot of water, and delegate. Delegating is the biggest thing. Have your bridal party help you with things. If you are stressed about something, tell them and say, hey, can you go check on this? Or can you go do this? I'm not saying make them your slaves. I'm just saying if you need help with something, don't be afraid to ask, because as your bridal party, like, they're trying to keep you calm. And if delegating and assigning them tasks is gonna work, then they're gonna be more than happy to help you. So that was the biggest thing, was anytime I was like worried about something, my matron of honor or my maid of honor would be like, I'm just gonna go, I'll go check on that for you. And they would go and like come back and everything would be fine. So definitely that's like the biggest thing. What was the most stressful thing to happen during the week, and was the day stressful? What was I specifically nervous about? The most stressful thing to happen during the week was the massive thunderstorms we had roll through that literally almost blew the tent away. I thought that it was gonna get destroyed and we were gonna have to pay like full price, big bucks for it. Luckily it was fine, it got waterlogged, but we were able to fix it. The day of was not really that stressful, just the morning, like I said. And was there something specific you were nervous about? Yes, my place settings, which I also talked about. I just wanted to have control over how my tables looked, and so I got up early and did them. And that's basically the only thing I was nervous about. Just making sure things were set up right, and the groomsmen did a great job at sending us photos and sending us video and FaceTiming with us, just to be like, hey, does this look good? Is this how you wanted it to look? And they just were very like reassuring that everything was gonna be great. So my worries were gone. Do you feel like you had to settle a lot for your wedding? So this is the last one we'll do today. I don't feel like I had to settle a lot for my wedding. I feel like our wedding was exactly what we envisioned on a smaller scale, and the smaller scale honestly took away a lot of stress and saved us a lot of money, and I wouldn't change the way things were. I feel like I got everything out of my day that I wanted, and most importantly, I came out of it with a husband, and we're finally married, and that's really what counts. So no, I feel really good about how everything went, and I am excited to just do married life, so yeah. So that is gonna be it for today. I think that was the first 20 questions or so. There are another 20 awaiting another filming session here. I will film that hopefully next week or the week after. I'm waiting on our wedding video to come in. I'm so excited to see it. And hopefully I'll be able to get that up on this channel in between these Q&As. If not, I'll put up a Q&A probably next week to finish answering all of these. So if your question wasn't answered today, it will most likely be in part 2. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you like my content, and follow me on Instagram on my new handle if you want to see wedding photos and see more wedding content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.